Hey everybody, it's Friday. It's a Friday edition of Box Seats. I'm your host, Frank Holder. If you're not familiar with the show, this is the show where we talk about sports with comedians. And then we have a great time. I give them some outlines. We just talk about whatever the hot topics is. Today, we got a lot of hot topics to talk about, and some of these things are going to be follow-ups from yesterday's show. So let's get ready to jump into it. First up is my man, Fig. Fig, how you doing, bro? How's everything?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good, man. This is a beautiful weekend, man. This is a working weekend.
Okay, there it is. Mr. Rodney Perry, how you doing, sir?
What up, dog? How you feeling?
I'm all right. And let me also bring in Mr. Dave, also known as the Business Bully. How you doing, sir? How's everything, bro?
Oh, my mama, on my hood, I look fly, I look good.
Now,
I'm happy, brother. What's happening?
All right, so we're going to get ready to jump into the show. I want to talk the COVID report first, knock it out, and then jump into the hot topics we got to talk about today. And first thing off, is there's been a huge outbreak of the COVID-19 situation that's going on with the Tennessee Titans. And, of course, in case you guys didn't hear, I mentioned a couple of days ago that Isaiah McKenzie, the Buffalo Bills, he was fined from not wearing his mask. Turns out he's fined $15,000 for not wearing his mask. So, because he was upset with the COVID protocol and situation. Fig, $15,000 enough? Not too much. And is the NFL, in your opinion, is the NFL being too soft? And do they need to revisit some of these COVID protocols? What's your thoughts?
Well, you know what? $15,000 is a lot of money. I don't care how much money you have. $15,000 is a lot of money. The thing is, I think what people think of is when they hear $15,000. So, these guys are multimillionaires. Whoop. Pause. All football players don't make the same amount of money. Now, in basketball and soccer and stuff like that, they have an exorbitant amount of what you would call contracts. But in football, everybody don't make millions and millions of dollars. The highest paid player on the football team is a quarterback, and the rest of the guys, it's a sliding scale from there. $15,000 is a lot of money. I would imagine that $15,000 is the first fine. If you have a second, third, fourth, fifth offense, I would imagine that sliding scale will be rising as we, continue to go up.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that one. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts?
Is 15 grand too much? Is that the question?
15 grand too much, and is the NFL being too soft on these COVID protocol situations, like looking at what's going on with the Tennessee Titans?
I mean, I think what we're seeing is that we're still largely in uncharted waters with this COVID thing. It's evolving, and the NFL is evolving with it. So I think as they lose money, they're gonna find ways to make people not break those rules. And if the first they'll hit them in the pocket, then you'll see people get suspended. Then you'll see. I think this is just the beginning. It's going to get worse and worse and worse.
All right, let me bring in back the Business Bully. So, what's your thoughts on this, man? Is the NFL being too soft? Is $15,000 a big enough fine? What's your thoughts on this?
I think it's ridiculous, to start talking about, whether or not the fine is big enough. My whole thing is a personal health decision something that is respected enough to be respected. Now, as long as you're not infecting people, we because I don't understand the math on this, Frank. Maybe you can help me break this down, because maybe my slow Negro ghetto hood rat mind can't conceive. If you don't have it, how can you give it to somebody else? Rodney Perry can say, "Hey, Dave, give me $15 million." I'm gonna say, "Listen, I'm about $14 million short right now. I can't give it to him if I ain't got it." How is it that people are getting it if they ain't giving it to people? Because if they ain't got it, I don't understand it. So, I don't know if he got that 15, but I'm pretty sure he do. So, we'll figure it out. It's calculation somewhere in there.
Bro, honestly, you're not slow at all. You're getting it. Bro. It's hard for me to understand. I'll be honest with you. With this whole situation was going on and the players' union being upset with the NFL and upset everything, it's hard for me to even understand what's going on with this situation. But let's jump into another topic, man. Dave, you missed this conversation yesterday. We were talking about Stephen A. Smith, man, and something happened this morning with the Stephen A. Smith situation. And I want to jump into this, and I'm going to start talking to Fig first and get you up to speed in a second, Dave. But Stephen A. Smith, Fig, we were talking about yesterday about how he's definitely going to move on and do the show. by himself and everything else. But as of this morning, come to find out, looks like Magic Johnson might replace Max Kellerman as the permanent co-host with him. And as we were talking about yesterday, Stephen A. Smith's show is becoming such a powerful outlet for ESPN. And we thought that, well, I thought necessarily it might be getting a little bit too big for his britches and everything else. And I'm not liking the direction it's going. What's your thoughts on Magic Johnson joining First Take? And do you like the situation what's happening right now with First Take and ESPN? What's your thoughts, Vic?
You know, I know. Look, there's a lot of people that don't like Stephen A. I'm not one of those. You know, I don't agree with everything that he says, but I'm not one who throw the baby out with the bathwater. I extract the good out of it that I possibly can, and the rest I just leave it alone. Sometimes I yell at the TV. I'm sure a lot of sports fans do when they have any commentator on, whether it's Stephen A, Skip Bayless, whatever. The one thing I know about Stephen A is that he made his way up through the ranks over a lot of years. And if he has the flagship show and is very popular, kudos to him. Well-deserved, well-earned. He does a lot of work. He's all over the country. If you watch, Stephen A travels all over the country doing different events throughout the course of a day, throughout the course of a week. Before he got his show, when we were talking basketball, his was the voice I wanted to hear because I knew he had his finger on the pulse of the NBA. So kudos to him. I love the fact that somebody with the cachet of a Magic Johnson is joining the show. Every time Magic shows up on anything, I'm tuning in, whether it's a late night talk show, a daytime talk show, talking about the Lakers, the NBA, the players. Whenever Magic Johnson speaks, personally, I'm one who wants to tune in and listen. So I think that's a fantastic acquisition to the show.
All right. I understand your take, Jake. My thing would be is I don't want to hear basketball players talk about football and football players talk about basketball. So I'm not necessarily a big fan of Magic joining the show. I mean, I understand your take. I get it. I have issues with those kind of things like that. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts, man? What do you think? Magic Johnson joining First Take. You like that?
I mean, you don't like Skip Bayless co-host? I mean, he talks basketball all day. But you know,
Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp talks basketball all day. But to each his own. Look, I like Stephen A. Smith. I said it yesterday. And I like the fact he got basically what it might amount to as a promotion. I'm not a fan of Magic being on the show. I think the show is about debate, and I think Stephen A. Smith holds Magic in such high regard that he can't debate him. You know, and so I think it's gonna really hurt the show in the long run. But I mean, we'll see. It'll be an experiment. I mean, we didn't try Magic talking before now.
Very true. Very true. And for the record, I'm not a fan
of Shannon Sharp on Shark Tank. I would like to see Magic Johnson on Shark Tank. Yeah,
I'm not a fan of Shannon Sharp on talking basketball at all. I don't like that either. Dave,
I love it. I love it.
What you think, Dave?
First of all, Skip. It's very important. I can't listen to Shannon Sharp and be. So first of all, I listen at least, and I don't like Stephen A. Smith as a Philly guy. I think he's full of hot trash truck juice and hot air and a bad receding hairline. So I like to throw the baby out with the trash truck juice, to be quite honest with you. But when it comes to Stephen A. Smith, I have to be honest with you. Now I don't have a place to go where I can hear coherent English because I got to deal with Shannon Sharp on FS1, and now I got to deal with the ultimate because what's going to happen is, see, this is what you miss at Stephen A. Smith, because what's going to happen is, I can't, an hour, 2-3 hours of magic? Listen, I think as a business owner, I salute Magic Johnson to the utmost. You know, as an entrepreneur, Magic Johnson is like right up there. I'm with Uncle Rodney on this. His ass need to be on Shark Tank because then they can, they can put the captions under him so that you can understand what the hell he's saying. Like when they have on 90 Day Fiance, them reality shows, and then people be having them, because Magic talks with an accent, it just sounds a little bit much mouthian. So yeah, I don't know. No.
That's hilarious.
You guys, man, you know what y'all don't understand. I think I mentioned it yesterday. It's like
I understand what he says, Fig. I don't understand.
Yeah, but it's like the internet. It's like internet comedians. You know what I mean? the more followers you have, the more people want to tune in. You know what I mean? Those shows want to put you on because you have millions and millions of people. Now you got the millions of people that like Stephen A, the millions of people that like Magic. That's a win-win for ESPN and the advertisers.
That's what they're thinking anyway. Doesn't necessarily mean it's true. That's
Yeah.
what they're thinking anyway.
We've
But
seen
like,
Magic
Can I just real quick? Listen, I just want to point this out. The only reason I ever watched the Magic Hour, if y'all remember that talk show, was because he had an all-girl band, and I wanted to sleep with the drummer more than anything on God's green earth. That's about it. I did not watch for Magic sitting there like he's sitting on a toilet with a huge constipation type of situation happening. It was a disaster, and y'all know it. Let's not act like Magic Johnson is the order extraordinaire. This dude does not have to worry about taking Winston Churchill, Les Brown, or E.T. the hip-hop preacher's title away from them, because this man can't speak.
Yeah, exactly. That's my issue. He's not, when it comes to speaking, he's not the best orator in the world.
Well, he is an expert in his field.
Yes,
he's more than an expert. He's an owner. I mean, let's not just throw him out. I mean, he's definitely an owner, a baseball club owner. He's a basketball aficionado.
First Take's not that, though. First Take is a debate show, like you said. It's a debate show. It doesn't go on what you did and everything else.
Hey, but listen to this. Do you know who the most popular person is that speaks? That can't talk? Charles Barkley.
It's about
Charles
a
Barkley
debating
can't
show.
string a sentence together without messing up. And he's probably the most polarizing person on TV.
And that's not a debate show.
That's a terrible comparison.
It is. All right, let's move on, man. Let's continue to get this thing on, man. Tempers flared yesterday at the Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley junket. At first, I was thinking that it might have been a situation where they were doing it because of the simple fact of trying to promote the fight and everything else, the fight that's coming up. Big, I'm gonna start with you. Honestly, I don't think that it was that, because Jake Paul started talking about Tyron Woodley's mom in the junket, his girlfriend, and everything else were there. So it kind of like crossed the line. I'm not sure if everybody even picked up on that and everything else, but words out there now that they talk about his mom who was there and his girlfriend. Your thoughts?
Man, par for the course, man. Conor McGregor was getting racial with Floyd Mayweather. And every time these guys got to fight, they always got some bad blood, you know what I mean, between each other. They arguing. They want to fight before the fight. Mike Tyson had a fight before one of his fights where he was talking about, come up here, I'm going to eat your kids, and biting somebody on the leg and carrying. I mean, look, man, it's hyping it up. If you see a fight before the fight, then you think that the real fight is going to be something really interesting to watch. It's pay-per-view. People tuning in, they dropping their $50 or $60 to tune in and see. This is how you make a gate. You start some trouble and you make the gate. The person who is the master at it before anybody else, in my opinion, was the late great Muhammad Ali. He was the one that can make a fight, starting trouble, call Joe Frazier, Uncle Tom, you know what I mean? Starting put the bad blood up front so that people want to tune in and see the fight. Whether they want to tune in to see you win or whether they want to tune in to see you lose, as long as they spending their money and tuning in, par for the cause, baby.
Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts, bro?
Can't hear you, Rod.
Can't hear you, Rodney. Can't hear you. All right, let me bring in Dave. Dave, talk to me. Tell me what you think, bro.
Listen, I've been a comedian professionally since I was 19 years old, and I will say this to you: I'm all for the jokes. I'm all for the showmanship. Like I'm loud, boisterous, all that good shit. Talk about my mama, and watch how quick North Philly gets on your ass. Talk about my mama. Ain't no talking about mamas and listen. Mike Tyson said, I'm going to eat his kids. I don't think anybody ever thought that Mike Tyson was literally going to go to Holyfield's house and eat his kids. But you start talking about somebody's mama. Fig, let somebody get up there and say your mama look like the cockatoo from Zooply Zoo, and I bet your light-skinned ass going to be scrapping. No, sir. Why in the hell is Jake Paul a thing? Well, I don't understand. This is a YouTubian moron. Him and his brother desecrate holy ground, suicide forest, and every damn thing else. He's not that exciting of a fighter. He had a couple lucky joints with a couple of people with glass jaws. Tyron Woodley, I hope, beats the living daylights out of this pasty mayonnaise wannabe MMA fighter, and I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts?
It's part of the fight game. I think Fig said it eloquently, man. It's part of it. And how about it? I mean, when you reference Ali, back in the day, the other guy wasn't in on it. Nowadays, everybody's in on it. It's part of the fight game. Hey, y'all. Hey, I'm gonna push you. You're gonna push me back. It's part of the show. And real animosity sells tickets. So I would be anxious to see. Watch after the fight. After the fight, you'll see it was a show. You know, they'll be hugging each other. All right, we good. Let's get this money. Let's go get these checks. And so if they still hate each other after the fight, then it was real. If not, then hey, they got us again.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think that's how you basically judge all that and everything else. Now let me talk about the next thing, man. And Dave, for you yesterday, we brought up the Rachel Nichols situation, what's going on with ESPN. We had a great conversation. We were talking about the debate of whether or not it was good to tape it and everything else, and her getting fired and everything else. This morning, I checked out a couple of articles. It looks like Rachel Nichols is going to possibly move forward suing ESPN. And right now, the debate is being on the internet is that whether or not she should sue or not. Now, for those of you sitting at home, here's the basis of what she's saying that is going to be suing. She's suing because she felt she was wrongly recorded. She was broadcasting from one location. There was an ESPN person who was there with her recording the conversation and was sending the link back to Bristol, Connecticut, and recording that conversation. And then that same employee went and brought it over to several people. Word got out to the New York Times. The New York Times is the one who ended up publishing the article. That's how the whole thing ended up getting out. After ESPN sat on it for a year. ESPN is saying that, that they had every right to fire her. Rachel Nichols is saying, you knew about this for a year before you fired me. Now, since it comes out in the article, now all of a sudden you fire me. You think she has grounds, Fig? What you think?
I don't know. Maybe if ESPN, it just shows it like it's a little funky to me, because if you knew about it a year ago and it was so egregious, then why didn't you fire her a year ago? Now the fact that it went public, now you want to fire her? That's a little shady right there. The person that she does possibly have a lawsuit against is the person who recorded her and leaked it without her permission. Now that wasn't a part of the show. It wasn't a part of something that was supposed to be recorded. So maybe she does have a suit against the person who actually recorded her and released it to several different outlets. Maybe she has a case against them, possibly ESPN too, because it shows bad faith. You know about this, and now all of a sudden you want to sue me because it's made public. And maybe that guy should have got fired. Maybe the person, or male or female, who leaked it, maybe that should have been the person who got fired if ESPN is so upset about it being out in the public.
Well, for the record, it was a black female employee of ESPN. She felt that Rachel Nichols was speaking out of turn when she was talking to a LeBron James friend, and what she thought was a person who she could think of and talk to candidly and everything else at the time. So she's suing ESPN because Rodney Perry, this young lady was an employee of ESPN. So my question to you, Rodney, is do you think she has the grounds and the rights to have a great suit against ESPN? Because again, ESPN sat on her for a year, and until the New York Times article came out, they didn't do anything about it. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, that happens all the time, though. I mean, you can't sue a person because they didn't act on the suit fast enough for you. Again, like we said yesterday, Rachel just had to watch her mouth around everybody. You have to assume you're always being recorded, and I'm not sure where she was. I believe she was in their facility. So, I mean, we all feel for her, but I don't feel for her. You can sue them, but you ain't gonna win. I mean, to be honest, you sue ESPN, they money too long, man. That's Disney money. You know, that money too long. They can tie that shit up for 30 years.
Yeah, they could. They could, but I think she has a lawsuit. I don't know. Dave, what's your thoughts? What you think about this?
I'm going to say she might have a lawsuit, but here's the gag. Number one, you're a broadcaster, and depending upon the terms of her contract, anytime that she's working in any type of capacity for the company, you know, her privacy is not her own at that point. So, you know, she might not have a case. On top of that, why did they wait a year? They could have said we were doing a thorough and in-depth investigation, and the results only came back right around the time that this happened. And you're going to have a hard time proving up against the mouse and his minions that that's not what happened. On top of that, she need to stop whining and go back to her family business. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but Rachel is her middle name. Her first name is Wendy, so she can go back to selling Frosties, Biggie Fries, and Baconators, and everybody can get on with life.
I thought she looked familiar.
Hilarious. But let me just throw
So you
this
just
out
put it
there.
in pigtails and you can see it.
Let me just throw this out there for you guys to make sure you clearly understand this one fact, okay? She was recorded without her knowledge in the privacy of her space. To me, that alone
What
is
space? Where was she?
What
Where was
space?
she, Frank?
I don't know.
Was she in her bathroom? Was she at home?
I think she was in her office. I think she was in her office. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, her office.
She probably was.
That ain't her space.
Actually, she was recorded in her space because she was off-site because this was during COVID. It wasn't in the office of ESPN. It was in a hotel room off-site because this all happened during COVID. That's in the height of COVID. So it was not.
You know what? As an actor, there's been plenty of times where you've been mic'd up and forgot to turn it off, or they didn't turn it off, and you having a conversation, go to the bathroom, something like that, and you forget that your mic is live, and everything that is happening while that mic is live is being recorded. There's been plenty of people that had that happen to them. Now, it ain't been leaked or anything like that, but there's been plenty of people that have done and said things with a live mic on unbeknownst to them.
Okay, but the point is
here's the short answer, Frank. She said some racial shit, and it was wrong.
You're not supposed to record a person's conversation.
Who says that? Where you get that from?
It's the law.
What law? That's not a law, Frank. You making that up.
I am not making that up. That is a law.
There is nothing on the book that says you can't record a person.
Yeah, you can't record. You just can't record people without their knowledge.
You cannot record.
That's illegal.
That's illegal. You cannot record or videotape a person without their knowledge. That's why people go to jail for recording.
That's not entirely true. That's like
true.
Like if you're in a public place, you can't.
She was at a hotel room.
Excuse me.
All right.
Excuse me.
She's not in her house.
That's why men have been going to jail for recording women in bathrooms and doing things like that. You cannot record people without their knowledge.
Bathroom is another animal, though, Frank.
No, it's not. It's the same thing. She's in a hotel.
It's not the same.
If I'm in my hotel room, you can't record me. That I expect that's a place where you have.
I'm not gonna argue with y'all about the semantics because who's she gonna sue? The recorder? He ain't got no money.
The recorder who's an employee of ESPN. That's the thought.
So what? That don't matter though. You feel me?
It does. It really
does.
Well,
put it to you this way, Rodney. Right. Wait a minute. Think about it like this. It ain't
like ESPN.
No, listen 1 second.
Rachel Nichols.
Listen. He works for ESPN, right? Now, what about the guy? What about the guy who was driving the truck that ran into Tracy Morgan and all that stuff like that? They didn't sue the driver. They sued the company because he worked for them.
Sue Walmart.
No. Look, I got 2 words for y'all in reference to this. Donald Sterling recorded illegally, said some fucked up shit. The court of public opinion got him removed from his job. You might be right about the law, but the law doesn't matter when they look at you and they go, okay, guess what? What you said is worse than breaking the law.
Yeah, you're right about that. And public opinion didn't get him fired. But here's the thing. He couldn't sue his girlfriend. His girlfriend didn't work for a company. We talking about Rachel Nichols' right to sue Disney.
And on top of that,
she can sue. She gonna lose.
She didn't say anything disparaging and too much against. All she said was at the time was that she felt a person who's underneath of her.
She said, "Niggers niggas taking my job."
No, she didn't. No, she didn't.
That's what she meant.
Let's continue on, man.
I'm sick of these niggas.
Fig, I'm gonna start with you, man. LeBron James came out yesterday and said he didn't, he's liking what's going on with Hard Knocks and football and everything else, and he thinks that there should be a situation where there should be some type of Hard Knocks show for basketball because people will get to see and understand what goes on in basketball camps before the season, and he wants people to get a better understanding of just the way teams come together and basically mesh. You know what I mean? He thinks that it'd be a great idea for a Hard Knocks type of show for basketball. And I thought about that. I was like, you know what? That might not be a bad idea. What's your thoughts on this, Fig?
Now, my first thought is, you want to film practice? We talking about practice? You're talking about filming practice? No, man, but actually it might not be a bad idea. Get a couple teams a year, maybe, 2, 4, maybe 6 teams a year where, they want to go on a Hard Knocks basketball kind of thing and see how a new team gels and how they build their chemistry and whatever and stuff like that on the court before the season starts. I think a lot of basketball fans will tune in, depending on the teams that are selected. I know I would tune in. I mean, look, basketball, y'all all know is my first love. So anything having to do with basketball, I'll most likely tune in, especially if the stars are going to be on display. I would definitely watch.
Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts? You think we need a basketball version of Hard Knocks?
I don't know if we need it, but I like the idea. I think it's a great idea. Hard Knocks is a great franchise. I mean, each year you see a team, and here goes. It's not always going to be the marquee teams. It's got, you're going to see the Timberwolves. You're going to see these teams, these smaller market teams, and see how they come together. It's going to make you invest in them maybe a little more. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. I think it's a great idea. And how about this? LeBron might produce it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Listen, man. First of all, I think Rodney Perry is a card-carrying brownie sexual. I also think that this would be a phenomenal opportunity to watch a team like the Knicks and find out exactly where they break down every year. I think that's important. I also think they need to do it for the Sixers so you can find out how, like, the Sixers is like, if Didn't We Almost Have It All was a basketball team. Like, it is close, but I want y'all to see it because y'all only get highlights. Being a Sixers fan, I want y'all to suffer like the Philadelphians suffer. I want y'all to see how stupid this is year in, year out. So yeah, I think it's a phenomenal idea, but nobody wants to see the Lakers because we already know what it is. Well, I mean, Rodney does. Rodney wants to see the Lakers because he loves LeBron.
I'd like to see how they come together, especially with all of these new pieces, how they come together and they would gel, how they're going to mesh all of those personalities and egos together. That'd be big. LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Melo, how they going to put that together? That would be interesting. I would watch that.
Let's get ready to keep this thing moving on, man. The next thing is I want to talk about is you guys possibly are following football and what's going on with Joe Burrow. Maybe you, maybe not. Fig, I'm going to start with you because the simple fact being Joe Burrow is supposed to be making a comeback, and the hot topic is right now is people are concerned in Cincinnati. They don't want him to come back and play behind that horrible offensive line because they think he's the truth and he's the next deal. He's the real deal and everything else. If you are a Cincinnati Bengals fan, hell, if you're just an NFL fan, do you want Joe Burrow to come back this fast, or do you want them to wait till they get a offensive line? Because if he doesn't, I think he might get murdered again. Your thoughts?
Man, It's always my analogy that if you get a luxury vehicle, you want the highest amount of insurance on it. We saw what Patrick Mahomes looked like last year in the Super Bowl without a decent offensive line. It was a jailbreak. He was running for his life the entire time, and he's one of the most mobile quarterbacks in the NFL. Do you want to put your most prized possession behind a weak line and let some of the best defenses in the NFL tee off on your most prized possession? I don't think that's a great idea because you could damage the kid. I got 2 words: Andrew Luck.
Rodney Perry, your thoughts?
Man, y'all know I stand on this, man. I'm not no fan of putting these young guys behind horrible offensive lines. The Bears been doing it for years. They about to do it again with Justin Fields at the behest of people like Frank Holder. Look, it's a bad idea. When you take first, I don't care how good a quarterback is, he ain't good when his ass on the ground.
Okay.
True.
All right, I'll let you do that. Let me bring in Dave. Dave. All right, and look like Mike Sean is joining the show too. Mike, how you doing, bro? How's everything?
What up?
All right, Dave. Dave,
homie?
Do you think Joe Burrow should play now, bro? Do you think that he should jump in and play now? Should he wait till the offensive line gets tighter? What you think?
First of all, that offensive line is looser than a bunch of girls leaving R. Kelly's house after a wild weekend. So I think we should Rodney Perry the situation. I think we should just, I don't think that it's a smart. Thank you, Rodney. You throw them hands up. I don't think it's a good idea unless, of course, you want to have early onset CTE beyond what normal NFL players experience. That's the long and the short of it for me. Because it's going to be concussion city.
It's your will, Mike. Should Cincinnati throw Joe Burrow up there right now behind that weak offensive line, or should they wait till they get it tightened up? What you think?
It's Friday. I'm in a different type of mood today. Put his ass in. You want to play? Put him in. Like, real talk, Cincinnati. We wait for Cincinnati to get their offensive line together. You'll be waiting another 3 years. Get in there and get the playing ball. But I've been trying to talk reasonable to everybody about these players. But Joe, this ain't his first year. This is his second year. You ain't a rookie no more, homeboy. You're not a rookie no more.
Yeah, he's been playing. He's been playing.
This is your second year in the league. We don't give a damn if the offensive line is weak. You are part of this team now. This ain't a rookie that just got drafted no, you already got your injury. Get in there and let's get it popping.
Speaking of football, man, Urban Meyer has a lot of players upset up there in his town, in his neck of the woods. It looks like people are, I don't know if they want to call for his head or not. They don't like what they're seeing right now with Trevor Lawrence. They're not liking what they're seeing with the offense. They're not liking what they're seeing with the offensive line. And most importantly, the Jaguar players have been leaking news to the outlets there saying that they're unhappy with the scheme that Urban Meyer is setting on. That now, here it is, Fig. They haven't played one NFL game yet, and already the Jaguar players are speaking to the media and asking the media to please not use their name. I don't think it's a good look. What you think, Fake?
Snitches get stitches.
What?
That's what it is. They leaking stuff already. They ain't played the first game, and they already listen. This thing, let me tell you where he lost his credibility. Urban Meyer. First off, I don't like that name, Urban Meyer. It just. I don't like the name. Anyway, when he brought Tim Tebow to the team, he lost his credibility. These ain't college players. These are not kids that's fresh out of high school and they looking at you like you a god. These are grown men with bills, families, and responsibilities. And you put in their bills and their responsibilities and their livelihood in jeopardy by making these stupid moves. Yeah, of course they're gonna be disgruntled. You can if you bring on a player that hasn't played in 4, 5, 6 years, and then you're gonna bring him on in a different position than he played when he actually played before, and you're gonna try and make that credible, even though you cut him. The fact that you brought him in took a spot from somebody who could possibly have been good at that spot. And these guys, it's not a game to them. Football is a game, but it's not a game. It's a business, and it's real to them. And he lost his credibility.
Rodney Perry, what you think?
I mean, Urban Meyer is a maniac. Not a maniac. What's a better word? An idiot. Yeah, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. And how about this? When you think we're in the age of recording people privately that you shouldn't with Rachel Nichols. So, of course, these players are not going to sit back and let Urban Meyer just have his way like some tyrant. Hey, what the fuck is this guy doing? Get him out of here. So, I think maintaining a little respect for the guy on one hand, but being sick of the BS on the other hand is what we're seeing.
Yeah, Dave, what you think, bro?
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I think that he's a moron. I've gone on record and said that this man is a moron.
That's
I
a
said
better
it was
word.
going
Thank you,
to.
David.
And that's what I'm here for, Uncle Rodney. So here's the thing. I think we need to understand that I was right. He's a moron. That college stuff ain't going to work with grown-ass men who got bad bitches and bigger bills. It's not going to work. So at the end of the day, if they wanted mouth, they would go ahead and deal with the girlfriend they were with in high school and college as opposed to the hoes waiting for them in the stands. So as a result, no one wants to hear Urban Meyer talk about, we're going to do head-to-head stuff. You know what he should do? He needs to leave the NFL as a coach. He needs to go executive produce the reboot of American Gladiators streaming live on Peacock. And then, you can do all the head-to-head stuff. You can pull out the pugil sticks, ball pits, the whole nine. You can turn it into a damn Chuck E. Cheese.
There you go. Mike, what you think, bro?
It's Friday. I told you I'm in a different mood. The only hoes here are the Jacksonville Jaguar players. Last year, you had a comfortable. You liked the coach last year, and you sucked. Like, you really gonna complain when you are a laughingstock franchise and a college coach, whether you like him or not, was 8-3-9, and we're gonna hear your complaints? Last year, when everything was comfortable, y'all sucked. So yeah, it's uncomfortable. The way you change a culture is you make everybody very uncomfortable. That's what you do. You got to flip this losing culture and turn it upside down. Now, whether it works or not, that's yet to be seen. But for a bunch of players to already start bitching during preseason, it just shows what you're made of. You're the guys that got to get moved out the system. And college coaches have worked in this NFL. They haven't worked and they have worked. Pete Carroll did work. Jimmy Johnson did work. Like we're really gonna complain already? Like, come on, y'all. Y'all got no credibility. If the Kansas City Chiefs were complaining, I'd be like, they got a point. If a championship team was complaining like the Buccaneers, I'd be like, oh, wait a second. Y'all had a winning situation. Y'all got a point. The Jaguars? Man, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be said. It honestly needs to be said that the players are complaining. I don't think I've ever heard in NFL history where players are complaining before the team even played one game. I don't think I've ever heard that. But I'm gonna double check on that by over the weekend. But let me jump into another topic before we get to the top dogs, man. I want to switch over to basketball, and after top dogs, see if we can jump into baseball because the Yankees are white hot and making history. I want to see if we can fit that in too. Real fast. I just heard this morning, DeAndre Jordan is trying to get a buyout from the Brooklyn Nets. He's had conversations with Rajon Rondo. Rajon Rondo's trying to get a buyout with Memphis to see if they can both join. Guess who? No surprise, the Los Angeles Lakers. That's what we're looking at. They both will come on board for what? The player minimum right now. Now, I'm not surprised at this. Honestly, I'm sick of hearing this and everything else. I'm more surprised that DeAndre Jordan is actually even having a discussion to have the buyout to join the Lakers, but that's what I read this morning. Fig, what's your thoughts about this, bro?
Hey, man, look, when you get to the age of retirement, you want to go to the old folks' home, man. Listen, the Staples Center is going to smell like Bengay, Tiger Balm, icy hot, hot tubs, and ice baths. These guys are old, and this is where all the old players. It's like right now, LA seems to be the place where old players go to retire because that's what it is. Everybody, if you're over 35, you want to go to the Lakers because everybody over 35 is on the Lakers. I don't even think there's room for any other team to have a veteran because all the old players are on the Lakers. Everybody on the Lakers, except for a handful of dudes, is 35 and up, man. So this is where they go to die, man. It's what it is. So DeAndre Jordan, he missed the age criteria, and so does Rajon Rondo. He meets the age criteria. They both over 35, so go to the old folks' home and just die there.
All right, Rodney Perry, what's your thoughts, bro?
I always had to deal with these guys finding a way to sully the name of the great Los Angeles Lakers and the fabulous LeBron James.
The fabulous, exactly. Tell him, Rodney. Tell him.
Here goes. If you want to win,
yeah,
you play with LeBron James.
LeBron!
Your best opportunity to win is nowhere else but with LeBron James. So one guy knows already, Rajon Rondo. Hey, Bronny. Nigga, I don't know what I was thinking. I went to play with the dumbass Clippers. And these guys don't know how to win. Yeah, what about you? Well, shit, I was out there with KD, and he just ain't no leader, man. You know, LeBron a leader. What you gonna do? I'm gonna go play with LBJ and get this ring because I like jewelry.
Amen. Hallelujah. Speak on it, boy. Speak on it.
Talk to me, bro.
See, first of all, I'm so sick of people coming for the Lakers and their mobility because y'all don't understand what's happening in the back office. Y'all have absolutely no idea what's happening with the advertising department. This just in, I'm getting this right now from the Human Mill Sports Center. The Hurricane and Hover Rounds have both come in to sponsor the Lakers right now.
No,
they're happy to take Rondo and DeAndre Jordan right now to LA, and they're going to limp their way to a championship, and they're going to roll over the competition.
No.
Dave, Mike, talk to me, bro. What you think?
It's funny that in his, what is this, LeBron's 19th season? Is this 19 that we're going on?
19.
Yeah.
19. In his 19th season, people are still begging to go play alongside this man.
Oh my God.
I would like to bring up one person, Kyrie Irving, since the team is so old. Do you know 27%? They did an actual statistics. 27% of Kyrie's career has been spent injured. 27%.
Wow.
Ask Kyrie, when's the last time he went to the Eastern Conference Finals since he left LeBron? Because he wanted his own team. He couldn't deal with being around LeBron's shadow. He went to Boston and screwed that team up. Then he went to Brooklyn and said the earth is flat. Then all of a sudden he needed some days off. Then he got the big three. Let me tell you something. In his 19th season, they're second. Brooklyn is favored to go to the NBA Finals. The second team that Vegas has in his 19th season is LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. At some point, y'all got to put this hate away and just understand you would have loved for LeBron to play on your team. The Knicks would have done anything in this world to have him in the Garden.
Oh, my God.
Mike, I got to say one thing, Mike. Kyrie Irving's first year with the Celtics, they went to the Eastern Conference Finals, bro.
He didn't play, homie. He was injured.
But you said when he went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
He didn't play. He got hurt during the season.
Believe me, I know he didn't play.
I want to ask a question. How did
played that season?
I just want to ask a question. How did a question about Rajon Rondo and DeAndre Jordan get to be about Kyrie Irving? Somebody explain the Jedi mind trick.
All right, can we just keep the show going on? Because
it was an explanation. It was. I elaborated on the topic.
DeAndre Jordan or Rajon Rondo once.
Because if you want people to watch the show, we don't talk about them. We talk about LeBron.
Yeah. And if we're gonna keep going, we're not gonna have time for top dogs. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. So, Fig, you ready for your top dogs? Or
yeah, man. Let's do it.
Going up? All right, go ahead.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Top dogs of the week. I got your Dennis Ugas defeating Manny Pacquiao in a 12-round decision to retain the WBA welterweight championship belt after taking a fight on 2 weeks' notice. Your Dennis Ugas. He was a dog that day. Number 2, I got my boy Melky Cabrera. Hits 500 career home runs for the Detroit Tigers and becomes the 28th player in Major League Baseball history to hit 500 home runs. Melky Cabrera doing it at an old age, man. 500 home runs. He's a dog. Third on my list, I got to give it to my man that everybody counted out, man. This kid came back out of nowhere. He's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Jameis damn Winston. It's about damn time. Jameis Winston. Monday Night Football. Doing the damn thing. Showing off his LASIK surgery. And throwing them dimes, man. Knocking down 2 home runs. Combined going 9 for 10. Throwing for 123 yards. 2 touchdowns. 0 interceptions. I can't wait to see Jameis Winston in a regular season. Jameis Winston is a dog.
He also paid for all his crab legs.
I dig deep in the crates for this one, man. There was a 12-year-old pitcher named Gavin Weir who pitched a no-hitter in the 2021 Little League World Series, leading South Dakota to the 1-0 win over Cali, striking out 14 batters in only 6 innings. I got to give it to this kid, Gavin Weir. Last but not least, we got to talk a little bit about baseball. Since my Yankees is on an 11-game winning streak, coming up, making it to the what they call it, the
wild card.
The wild card. That's the word I'm looking for. Thanks, Frank. Making it to the wild card. They on a winning streak. Second place behind Tampa Bay Rays in the AL East. It's the longest streak since 1985. You wouldn't believe that. The longest streak since 1985. I'm giving to them damn Yankees. Those are my 5 top dogs. What's yours?
All right, the Yankees are on a 12-game winning streak right now.
Oh, from yesterday, 12.
Yeah, they're on a 12-game winning streak. They are making a historic run. And honestly, I love that top dogs because that tells you the scope of what this show does. We get into all the sports and everything else. But since we're talking about the Yankees and Fig left it off the Yankees with that, I'm going to jump up to you, Rodney Perry, and say, after the Yankees did so horribly in the beginning of this season, now they're on a historic run. Do you think the Yankees, Rodney Perry, are going to be able to cap off this season and be able to possibly end this historic run with maybe even not only just getting to the playoffs, possibly even getting to the World Series? What you expect, Rodney Perry? What you think?
I think they'll definitely make the playoffs. Whether they'll win the win it all, I mean, you know, they spend the money to win it all every season. So whether they'll win it all is still up in the air. But I mean, the Yankees look great, man, and if not them, who? You know, I think they look good enough to win it all. But you know, it's a few other teams that's got some shit to say about that.
Right. Dave, let me just say this to you, Dave. The Yankees look like they were the worst team in baseball. Now they look like they're one of the best teams in baseball. It is a different season in baseball right now. Never have I ever seen. I watched baseball since I was a kid. I've never seen a season like the Yankees are doing right now. What do you think? What do you expect to be able to be the topic of what the Yankees going to do at the tail end of the season? What you think?
I think as a Yankees fan since I was 17 years old, as long as they don't play the Phillies, which would only happen in the World Series, I'm going to say that I am extremely excited. I feel like the Yankees have finally gelled. They got themselves together, and everybody's got their heads out of their collective asses, and I think the Yankees will win the pennant. That's just my prediction. I might be crazy. I know that's a little bold for some people because of the way the season started off, but man, you know, black people talk about, I don't like baseball. Baseball's boring. You have not seen this year's Yankees. You have not seen the Yankees for the past 12 games because the Yanks are sitting up there hammering stuff like they got baggy pants and a guy named No Bones in the corner standing like this making $3 million a year. They're hammering it out.
Mike Sean, literally 60 days ago, I was calling for them to get manager Aaron Boone's head, put it on the spike, and get him out there and everything else. Now I'm looking like a complete utter ass because that was a complete wrong move. He's made the most historic run in baseball right now. 12-game winning streak, vying for literally they're leading the wild card race right now. They're doing some damage right now. As a Red Sox fan, I even have to admit, like I have never seen a great season like this, bro. What's your thoughts, Mike, on the Yankees and what this historic run they're doing?
It's crazy. With all the hitting they got and everything like that, you expected them to do well from the beginning, but it all goes back to their pitching staff. Chapman has gotten together. He had a few hiccups early in the season where he was blowing saves where he normally doesn't, and his pitching staff has gotten it together. It's all pitching. If you can get 6 innings steady out of your starting staff and get to that bullpen, which is pretty strong, then you're going to keep winning. Only problem is the season is so damn long. Right. So it's the ups and downs of baseball. You can go from 12 straight victories to the next thing going on a 5-game losing streak. And the problem is they put themselves in such a hole that they can't slow up now. Right. They got to keep this pace, not this pace, obviously, but they got to keep a high pace. They can't have any fall off or they can drop out of that wild card race in a second.
Listen, 30 days ago, the Red Sox had the best team in baseball, the best record in baseball. Everybody was talking about them. Now they lost 9 out of 13, and their season looked like it's gone. And the Yankees got hot at the right time. Fig, what's your thoughts on what's going on right now?
I can tell you what happened. Aaron Boone He went to the warehouse and got a bunch of cases of that Boone's Farm, and he took it to the Yankees, and he passed out bottles, and they was drinking, and they was feeling good, and they just got into another zone, baby. You know what it is about the Yankees, the Bronx Bombers. The chicks love the long ball, and eventually the long ball takes over, and they got them big bats, and they knocking the long ball out the park, baby. And that's what happened to the Yankees. They can continue, they can keep it up because they got the hitters.
All right, we're getting ready to roll up out of here, man. Last question, real fast. I'm going to throw it out to all you all. Everything else. The Kansas City Chiefs, I want it to be this last question. Kansas City Chiefs is playing their starters for the entire first half tonight. Rodney Perry, real fast, do you think Kansas City should be playing their starters for the first half in tonight's preseason finale? What do you think, Rodney? What's your thoughts?
Absolutely. It's time to play some football, man. You want to put your guys out there, get them some chemistry. I mean, one of the problems last year, we had no preseason. Now we got it. We need to see these guys play. Next week, the season starts. So I say, why not?
Okay. Dave, do you think Kansas City should play their starters for the first half?
Yep, absolutely. At some point, you got to get them out there. I 100% agree with Uncle Rodney on that. I also think that people want to see somebody get hurt. And I think that this is a great opportunity for a couple of starters to get their heads rocked. So I'm here for it. I like watching football to see, who's going to get their ass to I'm sorry, was that violent?
What
Mike, what'd you think?
God damn, the violence coming out of Philly is real. Like, man, listen, I love the fact that Andy Reid now has gone to 2 straight Super Bowls and is like, I do it the way I want to do it. I ain't got to answer nobody's questions. Of course, there's always a chance for somebody to get hurt. But Andy Reid is sitting there going, we got 2 new offensive linemen, and that timing needs to get down with Patrick Mahomes. I respect it. Injuries, unlike the bully, I don't want any injuries. I want everybody coming in at full force, and I need stars like Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and the rest of them boys to be healthy, even though I'm not a Chiefs fan. I want to see them ball.
Yeah. Fig, do you think the Kansas City Chiefs do that? Because on the flip side, let's look at Philly. Philly ain't playing no starters this weekend, none. What do you think? What do you think, Fig?
I think it's a perfect opportunity, like Mike Sean said, for the offensive line to get an opportunity to play in game time situation. Whether they're playing up against starters or not, it's really about the rhythm and the coordination and give them an opportunity to to play together. You know what I mean, in real time situation and understand where Patrick Mahomes like his tendencies and stuff like that, so they could give him ultimate protection when it really counts. So 2 quarters, that's enough to get you in game time rhythm before the season begins. I think that's an excellent idea.
All right, that's the show. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
No, everybody, and let's pray for Dak Prescott. I'm saying it seriously. The Dallas Cowboys are the most irresponsible organization in the world. This guy's first game that he's going to actually play after getting his surgery on his ankle, 2 surgeries, and a shoulder injury. He hasn't played since last October. His first snap is going to be against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers opening game.
Right.
Who the hell puts a person in that situation to play their first effing game since an injury against the world champs? That is ridiculous, y'all.
And arguably one of the best defenses in the NFL.
And it gets worse than that, too, because he hasn't played in any preseason at all. None.
Anything.
Yeah. So, all right. So, yeah, you know what, y'all? We got to get ready to roll up out of here. Monday, when we come back, man, we got to obviously talk about the final preseason. We're also going to talk about some of the hot rumors that I've been hearing, and I'm going to throw it out there. I'm also going to give you guys an update on Rachel Nichols, and I even found out something about Malika Taylor, man. I want to see if this stuff is true. I'm going to do some digging and find out about that, and if it's true, it's going to be hilarious. We'll figure that part out, too. But that's the show. Fix everybody out there how they can follow you, bro.
Yo, you can follow your boy Comedian Fig on all social media platforms at Comedian Fig. And if you're in a Connecticut area near Waterbury, Lakewood Park is going down tomorrow all day long. We got a concert, we got comedy, we got hamburger, JP Justice, Big Bub, Jeff Red, Manny James, Lamont. It's going to be insane. Food, vendors. Come out, have yourself a good time. And it's all 100% free. Box seats Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Best damn sports show on TV.
Rodney Perry, talk to me.
RodneyPerry.com, Rodney Perry live on all social media. Appreciate the follow.
There you go. Dave, talk to me.
Follow me at The Business Bully. And also, I want to congratulate Michael Sean for getting sponsored by Sherwin-Williams because that haircut is extra sharp and extra painted.
Just came out the shop. Follow me at Mike Sean Comedy. And fellas, all seriousness, if you could just say a quick prayer. My dad's having a procedure today on his heart. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Prayers up to you and your family, bro.
Prayers up, man. Definitely.
Okay.
Amen.
Most definitely. Y'all have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. We'll see y'all Monday. The show's called Box Seats. The channel's called Humor Mill. We do the replay at 3. And we're going to do the same thing today. We do it every day. Until then, man, we'll see y'all on Monday. We got to do all the recaps and all that other stuff. That's Fig. Roddy just left. That's Dave. That's Mike. We'll see y'all. Peace.
Peace.